feel paralyzed.
How's it going, guys? And in today's video I'm gonna show you how I made these 3 Assassin's Creed style throwing knives and the pouch. I really enjoyed building these throwing knives and I hope you'll enjoy the video. These knives are actually rather easy to make, so is the pouch. What I used for the knives is just an old saw blade, and what I used for the pouch is just some fake leather. I sharpened the knives really well and they throw rather good, as the tip of it is a lot bigger than the handle part. How you're supposed to throw these knives is you gotta have your finger here, and when you throw it you don't make it spin, but you slide your finger all the way over the handle, so you correct the shape in which the knife is flying, so it will be flying straight the entire time. I started by drawing out my design on this piece of 1x1 centimeter paper. Then I just looked for some steel. What I got right here is just an old saw blade. Actually, this was a blade to cut tiles with. I've also got these other pieces of another saw blade, but I don't think all the knives will fit on that. So I'm gonna try to fit them all on this piece first, and if that doesn't work, I'm just gonna fit them all on the bigger saw blade. I've decided only to cut one template out and just use it multiple times instead of having to cut them all out. Well, isn't this a relief? It actually fitted on the small piece, and I can also fit 2 of these templates on the bigger piece of steel. So I'm just going to be using this old saw blade. I made a little mistake. I started out tracing the template like this, but of course it's way better if you just draw 2 like this and 1 like this. So now I've got my 3 templates and I'm gonna cut them out using my angle grinder. While working with an angle grinder, I always recommend using ear protection, some safety goggles, and of course a dust mask. I've cut out the basic shape and now I'm going to refine the edges with the angle grinder again. I now cut them all out. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to file all the rust off of it, and after that I'm just going to be using a flap disc or a buffer wheel to sharpen these edges. I just finished giving all the blades their edges, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take some sandpaper and I'm just gonna sand them really smooth, and I'm gonna refine the edges and refine the cutting edge. Now they're all sanded down, and I'm gonna be using a file to sharpen the edges more. I didn't sharpen the entire edge of it. Actually, it's just the tip that's very sharp, because since they are throwing knives, the blade doesn't have to be sharp all the way. It's just about the tip being really sharp, so it can penetrate the wood or anything you're throwing it into. Also, since they're throwing knives, I don't need to make a handle. What I am gonna do though, is I'm gonna take a little sharpener, and with the little sharpener I'm just gonna sharpen these edges till they're really sharp. After that I'm gonna make sure there aren't any burrs on the handle part, so you won't cut yourself while throwing it. What I'm doing right now is just fixing the burrs that were on the knife blade. Though the throwing knives actually are usable right now, because this is an Assassin's Creed build, I am going to make a little pouch to hold them in and to store them, to just leave them, whatever. I'm just gonna make that out of that reddish kind of brown leather I've laid them on right now. So what I got over here is, I've got my 3 knives. I've got to make sure they fit later on. This big piece of leather is the piece of leather that I'm going to make the sheath out of. And before I cut this out, but I don't think I'm going to use it anymore, so I'll see. I think I got the curve about right. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take this needle, this is the biggest needle I could find. I'm gonna take this strong piece of string and I'm gonna attach this piece right there. But first I'm gonna fold over this piece and I'm gonna stitch these two together. So I just finished up stitching this little patch that's gonna go over here. What it is I stitched this way and then I stitched back this way. So now you've got this kind of line going on both sides, and I just tied it off with a knot. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna make sure the knives can fit in. So I'm gonna hold this up like this. What I'm gonna do then is I'm gonna stitch these edges like that. But before I do that, I'm gonna take this strip and this strip. I'm gonna put on the back side of this. What I'm gonna do with it is I'm gonna stitch it like this and like this, so you can later on hang this from your belt. Alright, so as you saw me failing just now, of course I forgot to first attach the belt loop before folding this flap over and just stitching this together. I still managed to get it pretty good. It's still really tight in there. It just took a lot more work, so if you're trying to do this yourself, make sure you first attach the belt loop before folding this part over. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to cut the belt loop over here and I'm going to stitch this part to the leather right there. Alright, so this SD card is failing me apparently. It keeps corrupting my files and it doesn't save the videos, so I've got a new one to get back from where I was. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut these two edges off, and with the needle, look, the thread is still attached. I'm gonna go over this, attach it right there, go behind it, go over this part right there, all the way over here. I'm gonna come out over here, and when I'm over here I'm gonna just tie those two strings together so they're all sturdy and connected. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.